Hi, my name is Sarah Pollitt. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I live in San Francisco and I work in hospital management at Sutter Health.
My name is Chris Yanasak. I live in San Francisco and I'm a student.
I have never been to China before.
I have never been to China before.
When I think of China, I think vast and massive with both rural areas and bustling cities.
First thing I think of is a country in transition, economically, politically, socially, and historically.
When I hear the word Chinese people, I think about the country with the biggest population in the entire world.
And people that are usually smaller than me.
I think of big meals, and I think of Chinatown in San Francisco.
We will be traveling in China for 2 weeks through the Northeast in 3 different cities.
Shenyang, Chongqing, and Harbin.
I'm extremely excited about the trip.
I can't wait to talk to people there about their lives, to eat the food, and to ride the trains. This is
Riding Rails in China.
part 2. We landed in Beijing late last night.
Currently at the Beijing railway station.
We're taking the high-speed rail to Shenyang.
Should be there in about 4.5 hours.
I'm really stoked.
And I'm looking forward to it. Just arrived in Shenyang from Beijing after about 4.5 hours of traveling around 120 miles per hour.
The train was quite populated and clean. There were really no empty seats. The landscape outside was actually quite diverse. The initial terrain was more industrial and developed with residential high-rises.
About the first couple hours, first half of the trip, I'd say the words that come to mind are concrete and construction.
And then gradually the landscape gave way to more agricultural spaces with rice fields and cornfields.
The first while as we got into the rural area, I was really impressed with the level of polycropping. A lot of different crops being grown in the same area, which usually suggests that most of these crops are being used for local use and subsistence agriculture as opposed to agribusiness and export. One thing I certainly was surprised about was the level of corn. It was by and far the most common crop we saw, which I certainly was surprised. I don't think I usually associate corn with China.
We had a delightful lunch with bento boxes,
which was packaged kind of like a large lean cuisine with rice and meat, some pickled vegetables. Got to use some chopsticks and got to definitely keep practicing on that. Gonna spend the next 3 days here in Shenyang, get to know the city a little bit better, which I'm really excited for. Shenyang is the center of the Shenyang Economic Zone, and it's one of the top 20 emerging cities in China right now, and the growth here is happening really fast. It'll be interesting to see how that looks, not only on the landscape, but on the people who are living here, and I'm certainly really excited to get a better feel for the city. We just arrived, so we'll see.
Today we're in Shenyang, the capital of the Liaoning province in northeast China.
The actual urban population here is about 5 million, but the greater area, which consists of also a lot of farmland surrounding, is about 8.1 million people and roughly the size of Connecticut.
Shenyang is actually the largest city in northeast China and one of the 10 largest in all of China.
The level of construction and development is really just astonishing. You can't look in any direction without seeing new high-rises being built. It's really impressive, especially considering coming from the States where I was born and raised in Seattle, and the city looks pretty much the exact same for my entire life. And I think that people here are having the opportunity of seeing an entire city actually being built in real time in front of their very eyes. I feel like I could come back here in a few years and not even recognize it.